we should be careful not to assume anything because we assume Aaron Rodgers being back means Davante Adams is back. But this sure feels like Davante Adams to the Raiders mean Derek Carr not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to imagine the happiest guy in the league beside Davante Adams signing this contract is the quarterback. Now, like you said, you can never, who knows, but why would you get Davante Adams? Like, you have the quarterback. Like, to me, a huge part of doing this, I think Derek, as the stories come out, I think Derek plays a role. Because
has been probably for a while.
I saw, right before we hopped on, Gottlieb tweeted, this is the Khalil Mack in reverse. Why would you trade your first-round pick and then pay someone $28 million a year in a draft that's loaded with wide receivers when you can easily draft one of the wide receivers at a much cheaper number? And I'd say, for most teams, I would agree because they're not a wide receiver away. And I'm not even saying the Raiders are a wide receiver away. I think Davante Adams, like his value to the Packers was immensely high, I think his value to Derek Carr and obviously his new coach, who is just going to be dependent on Derek Carr, is higher than every other team in the league beside the Packers. I would say the value of Davante Adams to the Raiders organization, because Derek is their quarterback, the only team that valued Davante more, and you could argue not even because they got rid of him, and it might just be as simple as they can't pay everybody, is the Raiders. Like, this would not have made sense. Like, to me, if you told me the Eagles did this, they traded one of their mid picks for Davante, I'd be like, well, fucking with Jalen, I don't, can you even throw him the ball? This makes sense because of Derek, because of their relationship. Honestly, it feels like Derek has talked this into existence.
He's been saying he'll recruit him.
Saying it forever. I think most people just assume like it would make a lot of sense and they would do it, but it's never going to be a possibility. But I think it makes a lot of sense here. I would not have said that about most places.
Yeah.
Because to me, the teams that, the Chiefs, the Bills, you would be insane to ever trade Davante for pick 28, right? You'd be called a moron. Now, this pick in the mid-teens, I think you could still go, is that enough?
To give up.
Because when I see so far 2 prime picks in this draft, like, how's Davante not worth multiple ones?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the financial aspect of it is a big deal. He's about, he's becoming the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL ever.
On his 3rd contract, like Khalil was his first contract, Jalen Ramsey first contract. So
what you said is a big deal. Like, Davante plays a style of football like Keenan Allen does that ages, like Anquan Bolden did.
But if I told, this is again where I got to give these guys credit to get Derek this guy, and all you had to trade is picks from this draft. If I told you right now...
Well, Rap Sheet did say, as we're doing this, there might be a player involved too, but I mean, that's not going to be Darren Waller, so whatever.
Well...
Well, you're right. I mean, make Aaron happy?
I would wait to see the player. I mean, if they got Darren Waller, let's just wait to see the player. I mean,
right.
just
as you're watching or listening to this, you might already know the answer. But
I do believe, though, if I told you Davante Adams got traded, the Raiders acquired Davante Adams. What would you guess the picks would be?
2 1s and a 2.
Yeah, same. Now, if I said they got Darren Waller a 1 and a 2, I'd be like, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, if you told me Darren Waller was in the trade, I'd say they didn't need to trade. There's not a 1 there's no 1 getting exchanged. I'd say straight up or Darren and a 2 or something, but there's no, I don't even think you'd need, like, Waller is one of the best players in the league. You would still include a 1?
I think, yeah. Been doing it less, not as long, but on a cheaper contract.
I mean, look, this is an investment in Derek Carr. Now, I've said for a while, I do believe Derek's I want to be in Vegas to the point that I don't think it's just about I want to be a Raider with Derek. I think it also is I really want to succeed. I want to win. Like, I want to now – I think he's got to feel this way. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice. And we'll see. Maybe he'll sign a massive contract. I expect, just based on – I expect Derek to take a contract that was below what most quarterbacks in his position would get. That's what I expect to happen.
Well, it's an easier sell when you go look at what we just did.
But I think part of it is Derek saying, like, you do that and I will do this.
I agree, but one thing in the Brady that created animosity was like, you lie to me. You tell me to take less and then you won't.
Yeah.
If those guys said, listen, if you'll take, this is what we'd be interested in, just watch us work. And then boom, boom, this offseason, you'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
To me, they would earn my trust with their, like, we ain't fucking around. And like you said, it might just go back to This is not your typical first-time head coach you just get some wiggle room feeling it out. Like you have specific plans, specific ideas, and take huge swings. And like, let's face it, like they didn't get lucky in the sense that they were willing to trade a one and pay, but you need the other team to be willing to trade Davante Adams. Like that's out of your control. And it's that specific player, because let's say it's Mike Evans, or like it doesn't make as much sense. It's like this connection is just so unique. It really is, because now it's different in the NFL. Like I do think it's fair to say like their college dominance is equivalent of Aaron and Davante's NFL dominance, and Derek's not as good as Aaron. Like Aaron's top 5 or 6 player of all time. Derek's, we argue whether he's even a top 10 player in the NFL, at his position. So,
Quarterback, yeah.
But like we've always said Derek really excels with back shoulder guys. That's why when Crabtree got here, Crabtree's career was back on track. But wouldn't you say those first couple years were like, damn, Michael Crabtree's sweet.
Yeah.
And Davante's a better NFL version because they actually had similar college versions, their style. But Davante's way better. I actually think this is the type guy that excels with Derek, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Catching radius, back shoulders, jump balls in the end zone. Him and Crabtree just fucking shot like a rocket ship. And can you imagine the one thing, and you and I both know, but I was texting with, the guy that's very, very close to Davante. Davante, unlike some of these quarterbacks that never talk, like Davante doesn't talk that much, right? He's not especially at his position, is pretty under the
low
radar.
Key. Yeah.
Very low key, very, honestly feels very Patriot-like, right? Just the way this guy's chasing, like this guy's very, very like a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like he's there to kick ass, take names, and improve.
John, let's tell the people about our friends at Buck Mason. God, this stuff is great. We're both wearing Buck Mason right now, and you can too. We're big fans.
BuckMason.com/ham. Go check it out. Get a free t-shirt. Can't recommend it enough. Again, BuckMason.com/ham. It's on us. Free t-shirt. No big deal. Go check it out, and you won't regret it.
Free t-shirt, we should say, with your first purchase. And you're going to love both things you get because it's high-quality stuff. He is what you'd want. Not that you wouldn't want to build your team around someone, but you would want him to be, like, you put the C on his chest.
Immediately, before anyone meets him in the new building. That guy is everything you want. And you know what he'd tell you? I haven't earned it yet. You guys don't know me, right? And he's everything any coach, any scout, any owner aspires to get. Like with the draft right on the corner, you are praying to God to get a Davante Adams. And think about the reason he fell, right? Smaller school. They both did.
Speed.
Now, Davante, speed was a big thing, but just if he had run that, he's still going in the second round. It was like, yeah, who's he doing it against? I mean, think how, because you watch just go to YouTube later today if you're watching this and watch his Fresno State highlights. It looks like to me, it looks like a kid. If it's high school tape of a kid going to Alabama, you're like, this isn't even fair.
Well, Derek, I remember being at games. I went back, and Derek would throw these balls that they went over everyone's head, and there'd be like 3 little DBs chasing. Because Davante did run by guys in college.
Yeah, they couldn't catch him.
So you're right.
But it'd be
unfair.
like Utah State or New Mexico, right? Or I remember they played Colorado in a game that the Dogs won like 70-0, and Colorado was terrible at that year, remember? And they beat the living what out of them. And I remember seeing that on some highlights, like, God, this was not fair. And I think when it's that easy, it's when you see Devontae Smith or Joe Burrow or Justin Jefferson, it's like, well, it looks easy for them, but they're doing it against these guys. I think we overthought the Davante Adams thing. And, guy, he's headed to the Hall of Fame. Like, he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory, isn't he?
Yeah, the question is, can he get Derek there with him? I mean, it's going to take playoff wins. And that's where I go back to. I give Derek credit because we'll see. But I think this is going to turn out that he's putting his money where his mouth is. He's already made his $100 million, and he's going to make another $100 million, right? That's just the way it works for quarterbacks.
Think about just these 3 names. If I would have told you a month ago, we were just sitting there having a sandwich at lunch. Guy, do you know that Russell Wilson, Khalil Mack, and Davante Adams are going to come to the AFC West in about 2 weeks? You'd be like, what? That's AFC 3 West. Pretty big additions, those 3.
I know.
Russell Wilson, Davante Adams, and Khalil Mack just enter the division on
It's the most interesting
teams.
division in the league.
Yeah, by a mile.
And it's not like, oh, this team play like the Broncos are just good on defense, and now they add Russ. The Raiders add offense and defense. The Chargers have this incredible quarterback, but they add defense. It's like Chiefs. Like, you guys need to upgrade anything on the vehicle, or are we good here?
Well, they're like, hey, we're paying this guy like $700 million. We're just got to, I don't know, Veach, go to the draft. Here, one thing I will say, when you think opening weekend, right, the NFL, that Thursday night game is always the Rams put them against whoever. Sunday night has typically been the NFC East. You know, it's Giants, Cowboys, Philly Cowboys, right? Philly Giants. Like, it's just a BP fastball. I think you could easily go Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. And Monday night, to me, it's a lock. Sunday or Monday night is getting an AFC West matchup. Because I think you can just start with a bang. If I just tell you Chargers, Raiders rematch from Week 18, like, that thing's pretty intriguing.
Amazing. Just amazing.